Now you might have heard a lot of positive things about Germany, but today I'm gonna give you a different insight into life in Germany. And after spending a lot of time amongst Germans and about half of my friends being pure Germans, let me tell you what I dislike about living in this country. Germans are known for complaining all the time, being in a bad mood, being extremely straightforward, and a couple of other annoying traits. And it's kinda true, so let me explain. Germany is my home country, but today I'm gonna shit on it quite a bit.
How dare you!
Complaining is kind of a sport here in this country. It doesn't matter if it's the weather or the traffic, the people will find something to complain about. And so many people get angry, annoyed or triggered and go from 0 to 100 full-on rapid-fire mode in just a few seconds.
Das bleibt alles so, wie es hier ist. Und es wird hier nichts dran rütteln. Egal ob du hier bist und nicht.
German citizens love to beef with others over the tiniest thing. Believe it or not, there are people who walk around with a measuring stick to check if parking cars have the correct distance to the sidewalk. A couple of days ago I was riding the train on my way back home and behind me was an older couple who was having a conversation. My train passes the Maximilianstraße, Munich's fanciest street with the finest fashion boutiques, supercars and jewelry stores. So I was riding my train, actually minding my own business and stuff, but you know, when people complain in a really aggressive manner, it just gets through to your ear. And it was really funny. Guess what they were complaining about? People's fashion taste. They were looking out of the window and complain, oh, this person shouldn't wear this, oh, this outfit is so ugly. And they were doing this together in perfect harmony. So one of them said something and the other person was always like, yeah, that's so true. And this is just one of the countless examples I've encountered so far. And it's quite a common thing in Germany, to be honest. And it's crazy how jealous the overall population is. Germany has a huge middle class and most of the people have money, but not a lot. I think a lot of the complaining actually stems from the overall envy as well. In Germany, if you were to drive a nice Porsche, a $100,000 car, people won't be happy for you. They would either find some stupid theory in the likes of, oh, he must have inherited it from his rich parents, or, oh, this must definitely be a lease car. They will try to project their own limiting beliefs onto you, and you can really feel it. Even though the disapproval is non-verbal most of the time, you still notice the tiny signals in their body language and in their eyes. And there's also the aspect of Germans being brutally straightforward. If they like something, they'll tell you. If they dislike something, oh shit, don't worry, they're gonna tell you. I mean, being straightforward is not necessarily a bad thing, but trust me, there are levels to it. On level 1, there are the Japanese people who are not straightforward at all. They just swallow everything and are always polite. Germany, on the other hand, is on level 100. People just say what's on their mind all the time, and everybody does so I think it's not that offensive for them. But as a German coming to Japan, or the other way around, bro, the amount of culture shocks you're gonna get must be huge. And luckily, since I'm half Japanese and half German, I've seen both ends of the spectrum and can navigate these things pretty smoothly. But I heard from so many people that this can be really intimidating, and I kinda understand it because it can come off as rude and disrespectful. There's a massive ego and arrogance involved, and yeah, people are quite selfish in this country. They just love their rights. And in combination with the jealousy, the vibes are often not that great, to be honest. But let's get away from people for a second and talk about something that is quite tough in Germany. It's the winter. The German winter is dark, wet and cold every single year. After coming back from my 5-year stay in Japan, the first German winter after that was brutal. It all starts in November when the days start getting dark and grey. And on top of that, it starts to rain frequently. During the winter, the sun sets around 4 PM and it's already getting dark then. And imagine finishing your work at like 5 PM after an exhausting day. You look outside the window and the world is already pitch black. This definitely makes a lot of people depressed.
Emotional damage!
So in the period from November to March, the overall mood drops to the lowest point possible and eventually starts to recover when the temperatures rise in April or May. Your only hope of surviving the winter is by taking a shit ton of vitamin D supplements, socializing in a warm environment and visiting the beautiful Christmas markets to blow away all the depression. So you gotta be prepared. Another thing I dislike about Germany, even if it's just a minor thing, is that stores are not open on Sundays. And I think I'm way too used to Japan because there the shops are even open on public holidays and Sundays. and people are working every single day of the year, which is again a huge contrast between these two countries. I can understand that people might need to have a rest day once a week, but damn, I still sometimes forget that on Sundays supermarkets are closed, and it maybe happened to me multiple times that I coincidentally ran out of food on Sundays and had a slight panic attack. So I either went out to a restaurant because restaurants are usually open on Sundays, or asked one of my friends if I could borrow some food from them, which is kinda embarrassing if I think about it now. But yeah, you need to be really tactical with grocery shopping and stuff, and it takes a while until you get used to this rhythm. But let me get back to the behavior of the Germans, because there are still quite some interesting traits I haven't talked about so far. So we can say that the population is quite close-minded in general, which means that they dislike or are not really interested in new ideas and innovative concepts. The people here really value safety, and this is the reason why insurance companies are ridiculously rich here, because people get insurance for literally everything. I cannot even name all of the different kinds of insurance packages you can get. And when it comes to career and work, a lot of people just want to get into a gigantic corporation and call it a day. A safe job at an insurance company or big pharma, that's what makes people happy. So risk-taking, generating new ideas and quick change, these things are not on the agenda here. For example, many people absolutely hate investing because it's too risky, but Germans love their good old cash deposits, which is also a risky thing considering inflation, isn't it? They also love saving money wherever possible and being quite sticky. Not only individuals, but also entire corporations. For example, the German train company, the Deutsche Bahn, has basically destroyed itself because it used to be too sticky. And it's still operating because it is kind of a monopoly. But in this case, I can understand why so many people complain about the train system every single day. It's actually a valid reason to complain, and I've had my own troubles with the Deutsche Bahn. Even though Germans are known for being on time, the trains are not. I also believe that creating a startup and convincing people of your new innovative idea is a tough thing in Germany. It's not impossible, and there are quite a lot of new and successful startups being founded recently, but it's nothing compared to, for example, America. I feel like the bureaucracy and the old systems here make it really hard for innovations and change to happen, and I think the younger generation is quite frustrated about that. And remember the people walking around with measurement sticks and checking the cars? One more thing I kinda dislike about Germany is that people meticulously follow rules. Germans love rules. They have rules for literally everything. Thousands and thousands of pages full of paragraphs to keep order. In other European countries, it's quite common to, for example, cross the street even when the light is red. But in a rule-obsessed country like Germany, breaking them in public is like suddenly becoming the enemy of the state. So people are gonna stare at you in a weird way, and you will have a couple of people just insulting you for that, even though no car is coming. So it's usually the older demographic that is obsessed with rules, but damn, the countless times I've been insulted because I was riding my bike on the wrong side of the sidewalk. And if you're not used to this kind of behavior, it can be quite a traumatic experience. It can happen at every corner. The cashier might insult you if you shop for €7.45 and you pay with a €50 bill. Happened to me before. And a level beyond that is suing people. Germans love suing others, or at least threatening to sue you. I feel like it's kind of a hobby, something to prevent boredom from creeping into your life. It's not uncommon that people start beef about a parking spot, and things often escalate so much that one decides to sue the other party. It's such an unnecessary thing to do, but I think it's the unhealthy mix of selfishness, jealousy and resentment that leads to these things. Legal battles over the stupidest things are quite common here. So I've called Germans so many bad things today. Moody, jealous, close-minded and annoyingly straightforward. And I gotta say, I'm half German, so yeah, there is maybe a part of me that has subconsciously internalized this behavior. But I'm trying very hard to not embody these character traits. Of course, not all people are like that, and in cities like Munich, where the scene is more international, there is a different vibe. Nevertheless, I enjoy living in Germany, it's my second home, and will always have a special place in my heart. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Love you and stay focused.